Hello, and welcome to another Pages and Pals. We're actually here on time today. If you are new to our live shows, this is a monthly live shows that the BookTube Chicks does together. We basically grab a book and we read together because it's always just way more fun reading with pals. So since Chloe's right next to me, I'll go ahead and let her start first. Introduce yourself and let us know what you're reading tonight.
Hello everyone, my name is Chloe. I run the BookTube channel, Brunette Bibliophile. You can also find me on various social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Goodreads, under the same name. Tonight I am going to be continuing on with Little White Lies by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the BookTube Chicks book club pick for the month, and we're actually going to be talking about it on Sunday, so I have to make sure I finish it. I have about 40% left. I'm not enjoying it as much as I did the Inheritance games. I think the hype surrounding the Inheritance games maybe might have affected that. I'm also using the audiobook, which I'm not a huge fan of, but right now with lack of time, it's the quickest way I'm able to get through the book. So yes, that's what I'm reading.
What about you, Desirai?
Hi, my name is Desirai. You can find me at LibriLabra on all the things like Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. And I am reading One Last Shot by Kip Wilson, and this is told in verse, and it is about the photojournalist Gerda Taro during like World War II. And it is an arc that I got forever ago at YALLFest, and I just wanted to make sure that I read it so I can unhaul it.
Hello, you're on my channel. I'm Kathleen, and today I'm reading, continue reading Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I have been reading this for over a month. I am currently slumping, as actually that's pretty much my brand now, and I'm always slumping. But I've been reading this for over a month. It's a thriller. I have been getting, even though I'm slumping, I'm getting more interested in reading thrillers. And this is following a guy who wakes up in what he believes to be a different dimension. And he doesn't understand what's going on with him. He has no memories of what happened. So it's, I'm about halfway through the book. I'm 180 pages into the book, so there's not much left. I'm hoping to get this done over hopefully by the end of the month, but who knows. So if you are new to our live shows, we have 2 reading sprints. We first start with a 25-minute reading sprint. Then we take a little bit of a break, and then we end the live show with a 20-minute reading sprint. We'll go ahead and start with the 25-minute one, and I'll share my screen with the countdown timer so you guys always know how much time there's left. All right, so we are okay. All right, so that was 25 minutes. I got about 24 pages read. It's I don't know where this book is going. For those of you joining us, I am reading Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. It's a thriller about this guy who wakes up in a different dimension. He has no idea what's happening. I have no idea what's happening, but we'll keep going. I'm halfway through the book. Chloe, how is the book going?
I don't know how many pages I read, but it was the equivalent of about 5% of the audiobook. I'm still kind of feeling the same, like not as good as the Inheritance games in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, like there's not the thing I like about the Inheritance games, because I don't really care for mystery, is the puzzle aspect of it, which was so interesting throughout the whole trilogy. And this one doesn't have that. It's just like it's like debutantes, and like there's people being and stuff like that. But I'm more of like the interesting like puzzle mystery kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree.
And this doesn't have that, so I'd probably rate it a 3 if I were to rate it right now. But I mean, that could change depending on how it ends. But currently, I do not see myself reading the sequel.
I feel the same way. Desiree, how's your book going? What was it about again?
So it is about Gerda Taro, and she was a Polish Jew. Oh, she was the daughter of Polish Jewish immigrants, and so this takes place during like World War II and like the rise of.
Is this historical fiction or is it like a biography kind of thing?
No, I think it's like historical fiction.
Okay.
But it's told in verse. And I don't know if it's the fact that like I got to like page 124 because it's told in verse, but I feel like after reading Elizabeth Acevedo's stuff, that a lot of the other stuff that I've read in verse doesn't really compare, because she's just such a strong like spoken word poet, and all like even though it's a story, her poems stand alone like really strongly, where this feels more like just fragmented sentences, and it's getting the story across, but as far as it like from like a poetry perspective, I'm just wondering like why they decided to write it in verse, because there's no like rhyme, and I don't know if I feel like too much rhythm in it, but the story is
there an audio for this? I wonder
there is an audio. I'm listening to the audio.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if maybe the audio would have changed, but you're listening
the audiobook
to it.
narrator is actually excellent, and she's like chef's kiss with all the German pronunciations and French pronunciations, because you know, with the rise of Nazism, her parents were like concerned for her, so they asked her to leave, and she went to Paris. So now she's like in France. But you know, shit's going down, and it's scary how relevant it feels to today.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our second and final reading sprint. This is a 20-minute reading sprint. And as with the first one, I'll go ahead and share my screen so you guys can see the countdown timer. So that was 20 minutes, and as usual, it always goes by really, really fast. I think in total on this session, this live show, I've read a total of like about almost 50 pages. The book is starting to puzzle itself together, so I got a little clue as to what's happening, so I'm not as confused as I was 20 minutes ago. But it's interesting. I have about 100 pages left on this book. I'm, again, with my reading slump, I don't know when I'll finish, but I'm hoping to hopefully maybe pick it up sometime in the next week and finish it out, because it's actually starting to make a little bit of sense now. Chloe, are you at the same place you were before? You just don't know about stuff?
I read about another 5% of the book, so a couple of chapters because they're all really short. Something was revealed in those chapters that I read, but
what chapter are you
ultimately, I'm on chapter. I just got to the top of 48.
Okay, so
like
you're
70.
You're just a little further than me. Okay.
Yeah, I have about 100 pages left. So something was revealed in those couple of chapters, but you know, it's a lot of just the same.
Okay. How about you, Desiree?
So I'm like halfway through this. It's like it has shifted just a little bit away from the politics of the times to like focus on her and her relationships, and like she's hooking up with a lot of different people. and I just find that interesting for the time. But I'm wondering now if that's like more, you know, like during that time, if women just being very repressed sexually was more an American thing versus like other countries. But you know, now she's kind of like diving headfirst into more political things, but also just finding herself with photography. And she's found like a partner, and they're like very, very similar, and they're both Jewish, but also like they spent time together and they kind of got on each other's nerves. So I'm interested to see where that goes.
Okay. Is this a book that's like it's one of those books that's bound to have? Is this going to be like sad? Like I mean, just based on the subject, is this going to be a book that you're just going to be bawling your eyes out?
I don't know anything about her, so I don't know how her story ends. I guess it has the potential to be really sad, but right now she's like, even with everything going on, she's so sure of herself and her personality and who she is and what she wants to be doing and her politics. Like she's just like a very strong character and a very strong person.
Mm-hmm.
So I would hate for this to end poorly for her.
Yeah, it's just that subject. It sounds like anything good can go really, really bad.
Right. I know. You liked The Book Thief though.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is like, again, I'm like halfway through it already, just in the time that we've spent here. So like it goes really quickly. And I think I have the audiobook at 2.5, but it doesn't sound that fast at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think you should check it out. I think you might like it.
Is it out already? Because you have an arc, right?
It's the arc, but it says 1/23, so it came out in January.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and end our live show here. Just a few quick announcements before we end. If you follow the BookTube Chicks Book Club, our live show for the book that Chloe is reading, Little White Lies by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. She is the writer of the Inheritance Games, which is really, 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 really good. I highly recommend that book. On that series. But our live show for that is actually this Sunday. It's on Chloe's channel. It's at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We will update all our social media, so make sure you check that out if you're interested in hearing our thoughts on this book. Our next Pages and Pals live show is going to be, again, another Friday in July 14th. It's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern time here on my channel. And do you guys have a quarterly romance live show coming up in July?
Not in July. The month after that. We're going to be
Okay.
reading The Rewind by
Alison
Okay.
Wynne Scotch.
Okay. All right. So if you are a big fan of romance and love romance books, you should join Chloe and Desiree on the quarterly romance book. They read romance every quarter, and so they have a live show pretty much every quarter. Their next live show is going to be in August, and it's always on Desiree's channel. There's the book that they're reading, and they're going to be discussing in August. So anyway, that's all for our live show. Our live show and our announcements. Again, if you want to join us for our next Pages and Pals, that's July 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We hope to see everyone there. Thank you for joining us, and have a nice weekend. Bye.